In this video, I'll try to show the continuum from reality to virtual reality. This is a real book. It's a real book. It's made out of paper. You can read it. You don't need a computer or a phone to read it. But it has a QR code, which brings us to augmented reality. So now something floats above the page.
Skeleton provides
we can set up certain things such as the language, auto-rotate.
Squelette. Le squelette est
scale.
un groupe d'os reliés les uns aux autres par des articulations.
All sort of things we can do.
Protège les organes importants du corps.
And that could be useful for a child learning anatomy, for example. Let's look at mixed reality this time. It's a little bit more integrated with the real world. You can do more, you have more control, you can move things, you can grab things, you can scale things, you can move them around. So a little bit more control, a little bit more interactivity, a little bit more integration. Let's now look at 360 still images or photos. These are basically 360 photos and basically in the shape of a sphere, and you're inside the sphere, so you can look pretty much everywhere, but they're not 3D, they're the real photos, and there's no motion. You can move from one to another, but within the actual photo there is no motion. This is obviously going around our campus at Conestoga on Dune campus. Let's now look at 360 video.
Hey everyone, I'm Sophie Wong. I'm a designer and a maker, and I love to make wearable technology projects. I especially love wearable tech projects that are expressive and artistic, so I make a lot of costumes and fashion pieces. I also really like to work with digital fabrication techniques, so I do a lot of 3D printing, laser cutting, and CNC milling in my work. And lately I've been working a lot with 3D printing on fabric, and I brought several projects here to show you today that incorporate 3D printing on fabric, some fashion pieces, and some experimental garments that really explore this technique. So the first piece I want to show you is this jacket. This is a purchase jacket that I added some 3D printed pieces to, and I also incorporated lighting into this piece. So this jacket has 3D printed diffusion panels on the shoulders and on the back, and these are pieces that are 3D printed onto a mesh fabric. That's a nylon mesh. And with this technique, you 3D print you start printing your model, you print one layer, and then you pause the print and insert the mesh fabric and then resume the print. And your fabric gets trapped between the first two layers of the print, and you end up with this flexible kind of panel. So I used these panels on this jacket to...
Let's now look at virtual reality. This one is with very simple graphics, but everything is digital, everything is created for you to live in an environment. This one is small puzzles. Let's now look at virtual reality with more complex graphics. This particular VR application has a lot of interaction, but limited locomotion. You can basically look at the model from the front. The model can spin around, but you cannot necessarily go behind. In this VR application, you can move in all directions. You're totally free. Complex graphics, models, and textures, and you basically feel like you're in space. Pretty amazing. Thank you for watching. I hope this gives you a good idea of the continuum that XR technologies cover, from reality to virtuality.